Texans are up to something, but what in the heck are they up to? Titus Howard's contract restructured. Are the Texans trying to get aggressive? Are they trying to make a move? Are they trying to extend one of their own? And should they be? So many questions to answer. Happy Easter in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room.
What in the world are the Texans up to? It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. Titus Howard's contract restructured. Texans never really in that bad of a salary cap situation, but now they free up even more space, which is common practice in many areas. But a lot of times you see teams that are in salary cap trouble or trying to make a move that do these types of things. So what are the Texans up to? What are they doing? Are they looking at a trade? Are they looking at an extension? What should they be looking at? Let's discuss it here on Easter. You can see me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app, also on YouTube. And you can see me right here. So the restructure of Titus Howard's contract, couple of things, standard practice. But from my perspective, when I look at this, I can't help but think, damn, usually when someone's contract is being restructured, it's either a bad contract or it's a really good player that is having his money thrown around. I don't know which side Titus Howard falls on. And in this situation, we don't know because we haven't seen Titus Howard perform as one of the highest paid tackles in the league. We haven't really even seen him perform as a tackle in the league consistently recently. But the Titus Howard extension last year was interesting because you obviously didn't think you had enough of an elite tackle because you put him at guard where he wasn't very good, and you put George Fant in. So if he had been elite, like they would never think about that with Laramie Tunsil. And right now, why am I putting Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil in the same category? Because both are paid like elite guys at their position. So hopefully, God willing, Titus Howard ends up being, a good player whose contract you're throwing around. And not a bad contract that you're trying to minimize the blows. Right now, they're just trying to free money. It's just a matter of what are the Texans up to. But if Titus Howard can be a good right tackle consistently and that contract looked good, that would be nice. But that was the last extension the Texans handed out. Could they be looking at another one? We'll get into that in a sec. What are they up to? Before we answer that, we got to talk about what they've been up to and failed at in this offseason. And they've added some pieces on the defensive side of the rock. They kind of pivoted after the Saquon thing and brought in Joe Mixon. But they've also whiffed a couple of times and had that line in the sand. There's the ESPN reports that the Texans and Chargers were talking about a trade for Keenan Allen. Texans were offering the 2025 third and a pick swap. However, the Chargers ended up taking the deal from the Bears. So there was a line in the sand there, and they didn't go get Keenan Allen, which wouldn't have been cheap. Saquon Barkley, he was on the New Heights podcast with the Kelseys, and he said that he was leaning towards the Texans until money came up. So they had the line in the sand there. So in order to answer what are the Texans up to, I think it's worth acknowledging that they have tried to add talent on offense. Now, is that opportunity there right now? Could we be talking about a trade? Like, are they going to get in the trade market for Ayuk or T. Higgins? That would seem kind of strange. What is the value there? You've already traded your first round pick. You got a couple of seconds. What are we doing there? What should they be doing? They should be adding weapons. They should be adding weapons on offense, but maybe that ship has sailed. Maybe we got to wait for the draft. Maybe we got to see some late cuts for that to go down. Maybe they're looking at the safety market. Maybe they're going to try to take advantage of the way that the market's laid out at safety, and they're going to go in that safety market and they're going to add something there or add something on defense. They definitely should be looking on offense. The trade thing for me, could there be a trade for a wide receiver? It would just seem a little bit strange, and I would have to know what the price is going to be. especially if we're talking about Higgins and we're talking about Ayuk. I know San Francisco, there was talks that perhaps they wanted a first. Well, Texans don't have a first. So that would be kind of a problem. Also, is Ayuk really much of an upgrade over Nico Collins? And is the money that you're going to have to invest, is that worth it? Who knows? They're up to something, though. What do you think they should be up to? Put it in the comments. One of the more popular theories that I've seen out there, and we've heard Nick Caserio kind of talk about Nico Collins at the Combine. Is it time to extend Nico Collins? Look, I look at the Titus Howard contract last year, and with the way stuff played out this year, regardless of whether it was injuries or where he was, the reality is if they would have waited, it would have been a lot cheaper. Like, we can all agree on that, right? The Nico Collins, where's the starting point for Nico Collins? For a guy that's had one very, very, very productive year, but has missed 13 games, and there's been multiple games where he's left the game early. Point to the Jets game. So he's missing close to a fourth of each season that he plays on average. Do teams start catching up on him? Is there a little bit more press man on Nico Collins? Or does he piggyback off of what he did last year and the price goes up? For me, if he does, I think that's fine. Because if we're going off the extension they gave Titus Howard last year, even if Titus Howard had an awesome season, I don't know that it's going to be much higher than what it ended up being. And if you're going to give Nico Collins that type of deal, like if you're going to get an extension and you're going to get it early, go back to the one that the Texans got from Whitney Merciless, not the B.O.B. Jack P.O.S. Easterby one, but the first one. That was a bargain. Are you going to pay Nico like he's elite with all these question marks, or are you going to make him go earn it? Because if you pay Nico Collins, and you put him in the same range as the Amon-Ra St. Browns, what if he kind of comes down to earth a little bit? What if he has a good season but not a great season? So that I don't know that there is really a hurry with all the salary cap space you have, et cetera, and the fact that you can keep these guys in your control, whether it means franchise tag or not. So when we talk about extending Nico Collins, the only extension I have to go off of with this regime is the Titus Howard one, and I don't think that looks great right now. Now, Nico Collins has played at a higher level up to this point than Titus had during his time. I don't like it. Titus is a good right tackle, right? He's good. Great. I mean, maybe we'll see, but we definitely haven't seen it. We have seen Nico Collins be great in stretches. So what do they do? Did they clear up the space to do this? And even then, they've told us, as I've been telling you, they need to add weapons. They believe it. They were in on Keenan Allen. They were in on Saquon Barkley. Those aren't just, low-level additions. Now, maybe it was because the opportunity was there, but those are expensive additions, especially if they were going to give Keenan Allen the extension. So what in the hell are they up to? What should they be up to? There's a lot of question marks with this Texans front office. Fortunately, tomorrow, first day of April, it will officially be draft month, and things will start to shape up a little bit more. But Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryan's never a dull moment. This is supposed to be the downtime, but there's never a downtime in the locker room. Appreciate you for coming through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Talk to you on In the Loop Sports Radio 610, 10 to 2 Central.
Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlock, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do.